Alright, let's get this show on the road. Okay, so I decided I wanted to make these really cute, vintage, antique, little cutting board riser situation. So here I am editing the video so you guys can see what I did to make them. So I ventured on into Hobby Lobby and I picked up a 2-pack of these wooden plaques. I also got a 2-pack of the oval. Each plaque was 5x7, $2.99 per pack. I also picked up one of these square dowels. I don't know if it's a dowel, whatever. It is an inch, and here is the numbers for ya. 1 inch by 36 inch. It's the orange situation. So I took everything outside, got my saw out, and I got my sander out, got my pencil, and I started sketching on the backside of the plaque. This is what I sketched out. That's my design. I try to mimic, or some would say copy, Kirkland's designs. I mean, I don't even know if Kirkland came up with the designs either, Whatever. Anyways, so here I am just again taking a pencil, sketching out how I want my little mini cutting boards to look. Alright, so I just kept sketching away with my pencil. And this one I wanted a bit more square, so this is how I drew it on the plaque. And the dowel, or square rod, whatever, I actually am going to use that for the legs. I'm just, erase. I made sure everything was even. Got my saw out, started to saw away, okay? Gonna get loud, plug your ears, boys and girls! Like, what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm not sure if I was wiping the snow/dirt off of it or the sawdust. Anyways, I'm laying it right next to what I'm about to cut. And I'm just taking my pencil and just making sure it's lined up perfectly. Repeated this process like 9 more times or something like that, of just cutting and bending over and rubbing the leg on the table. Yeah, so anyway, then I went ahead and moved on to the actual boards, and I just cut them wherever I do those lines with the pencils. Now this round one was a bit tricky because the overall shape originally was oval, so I had to make it round myself, if that makes sense. It was kind of tricky, not gonna lie, but I got it and made it look like a wooden paddle. Once I was done with my cuts, grabbed my sander and I just started sanding away, getting all the edges pretty smooth. Honestly, went over it probably like 3-4 times, kept flipping it around and just kept going. I didn't want any of my edges to be sharp or new looking. I really wanted to rough them up, kind of round them off, make them look super vintage, super antique, primitive, indigenous. Doesn't it sound like a big swarm of wasps are just coming at ya? Ow! 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 Alright, now that we got a little close-up of what they're looking like, then I took it back over to the table and I started actually hammering the thing together. Putting it together. Let's put it together. So I just took the slab or cutting board, whatevs, and I started a little nail in it where I think the leg would go. Foot. It's a leg, not a foot. And then I just kind of popped it on a little bit, I was like, okay. Then I pounded the rest of the nail into that leg. Bam, 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 bam. And then from here, it was just that simple. Took another nail, pounded it in almost super freaking close to that last one. Probably like half an inch away. Obviously going into that same leg. I did 2 nails per leg for sturdiness, you know, support system here. So then I just took the other leg and lined it up where it needed to go and took the nail and pounded it away, you know? It was that simple. It really was, though. So simple. And Kirkland's was charging $90 for a set of 3. I just made these under $10. Thanks, Hobby Lobby. Thank you, brain. And here she blows. I mean, here she is. Okay? Obviously, I need to take this little sticker thing off of the square dowel rod. Don't know why I didn't do that prior, but that's fine. Pro tip, you can actually just use the sander and sand that sticker right off. Alright, different angle. Wanted to give you guys perspective in this video. So I moved my camera over here so we could all see what I was doing. Basically, I'm just going over this with the sander on the edges, kind of getting those hammer marks out. They were a little much because I was just pounding so hard on this thing. And then I went ahead and went over the bottom of the legs, or I guess would be the feet or the legs. I don't know. Anyway, then I went ahead and grabbed some stain. I actually got this stain from Walmart, and it was like, I don't know, $7-8. I've used it for so many projects, so I definitely recommend it. Brand is called Minwax. The color is Special Walnut. So anyways, I just took this old nasty crusty rag that I had laying around, and I dipped it down into it and went ahead and just smeared it all over this cute little mini vintage cutting board. This is just give it like a little bit of color, make it look like it's weathered, like it's been through something. And this was a found cutting board out in the woods or something, you know. So I went ahead and put this all over, sides, back, front, everything. Even the legs, even the bottom of the legs, like, because if you pick this up, I want you to be like, wow, you found this, you know? Yeah, that's perfect. And we love when that happens. And I did want to point out, with those legs, make sure you get those corners, those edges, so that they're kind of rounded off in a way. I mean, I guess that is if you are using this video as a tutorial, then you can follow my recommendation. Otherwise, just keep on watching to see what I did, okay? No, I did not have shaky hands. It was the wind blowing the camera around. Okay, sorry. Get into every little crack and crevice with that stain. Through some of the boring stuff. Watch these nails. They just fly in. I was going so fast. accidentally put that nail in wrong, so I had to redo it, which no biggie. Let's not talk about my faucet over here. I know it looks rusty and dusty and nasty, but I can't help that, okay? So excited about these pieces. They turned out so good. They look pretty authentic to me. I like the kind of odd circular shape. It's not like perfect circle. It's got a few nicks and dings from the hammer, and then the roundness of how I sanded it. So I think they turned out really good. I kind of wish this specific one, the legs were a bit more round. So I may go in and sand those down a bit more, but honestly, it's not that deep to me. I tried to round out the bottom of the legs. But these little cutting board risers are just so cute, and they're trending all over Pinterest. I just figured, well, I want to make my own. Made them less than $10, so that's awesome. I love the shape of the handle on this one. I'm not too sure if I want to drill holes right here, because like typically you would have a hole with a string or something like that so you could hang these guys up. You know, so if these were found cutting boards, old antique cutting boards, they would probably have a hole in here, but I don't really know. All right, so I'm making the decision. I am going to go ahead and drill holes just so they look more like a cutting board and not like a paddle, because it almost looks like a ping pong paddle, doesn't it? So I'm going to drill the hole just right up in here, because typically they'd have those to hang them up. So it only makes sense. All right, for the one that's shaped like this, I'm using a 3/8 drill bit, and I'm gonna do a larger hole for this one. I just think it would look more natural with a larger hole. I'm just doing this right over my trash can. Ow! Eat your stop! Okay, and then I'll just have to go back in with a little bit of stain just to put inside the hole. I also want to point out, I'm going to take this and just scratch up the board a little bit so it looks a bit more rustic and like it was used. You just take whatever to do some scratches, this, just so it looks a bit more rustic and not so new. So you could take scissors or a knife or something to go over some of the edges. For the other two, I'm going to be using a 1/4 drill bit. A smaller hole is going to look better because this whole area is a bit smaller. Doing the same size on this one here. And I'm going to go ahead and off camera get some of the stain to put down in that hole, and then go ahead and scratch it up, and I'll reveal what they look like. You thought you did something here, but the lighting's too dark. Turn your flash on. There you go. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, hit, share.